And even if there is, guys, when you're in the season, somebody is treating you wrong out there, you send the officials the report on them. You say, Rita was getting into me on lap 25. Check it out. That's the kind of thing. They don't want to hear it on the mics arguing back and forth. But other than that, I think you about covered it, Rita. Just keep it clean, guys. It's the last chance to shake these cars down before we start season 26. So it's a good opportunity to see what you got before we get to Australia in a couple weeks' time. Yeah. One thing, we got a lot of vets in here. We got a couple of returning rookies like Dalrymple. General Muddle, I think this is his first start in the F1s. And as I said, this is our fourth and final exhibition of the off season, and we'll be down in Bathurst 2 weeks from today to kick off the season. The schedule, I believe, off the top of my head, and as I said, all of it will be dropped. You can go whenever you want, Shano. All of it will be dropped tomorrow, I believe. The schedule goes from Australia down to Monaco to San Marino at Imola, to the U.S. Grand Prix at Watkins Glen, British Grand Prix at Brands Hatch, German Grand Prix at Nürburgring, Belgian Grand Prix at Spa. What am I missing here? Really, European Grand Prix at Barcelona, and Japanese at Fuji. That's the F1 schedule. 10 rounds. And then Saturday's races is split between the V8 World Tour or an International Le Mans Series race. Each one of those series has 6 rounds in their championship. And, of course, the American Tour is the American Tour. Winston Cup, Camel GT, IndyCar staying right where they are. One big thing to take note, guys, this season the support series are all 4 points. All right, I'm going to let you guys have at it. I'm going to head into the broadcast booth. If you need me, Rita, Shane, let me know. Guys, have a great race. And at the end of the race, I'd like to get the podium finishers into the post-race. Rest of you have a good show, and make sure to check us out and subscribe on SCL Racing Network on YouTube. Good luck, guys. All right, here in the broadcast booth. You guys heard the pre-race introductions, at least on my end. We welcome you here to Donington Park for the SCL Donington Trophy Race. It is our final Formula One or SCL Formula One World Championship Series exhibition before season 26. We are 2 weeks away from the opening of season 26 at Australia with the Bathurst 500 and the Australian Grand Prix. So the last chance for these drivers to shake down what they got. Looks to me like we've got a total of 12 starters. Don't count Carlin Hicks. That's me. I'm up here in the broadcast booth, and that's Shane O'Kano on the Sunday Cupley account. So we've got 12 starters here for this exhibition. A number of guys that would also have been in the race are not in. There was some serious PSN server issues this morning, enough that would have caused a postponement of the race had it been a points championship race, as a few guys were not able to get in. But for the exhibition here, we're going to go ahead and run it and let the guys get some track time. I'm going to let them have at it here. I'll leave the timing and scoring on here for qualifying, as we've got, as you see, 7 minutes and 50 seconds. I'm going to take a booth break and get ourselves prepared for the start of the SCL Donington Trophy Race here in the SCL Formula One Series. And we'll be back with you momentarily. All right, Carlin Hicks back in the booth with you. They're getting down to the nitty gritty. I'm about to head back into the audio of the race room so we can do the final starting order for you. Looks like Pogo Gun holding a narrow edge over Grandpa Bubby. We'll be talking about them throughout the race. I'll give you some history. The SCL entering its 26th season, established back in 2010. And our drivers have a lot of history on the track and with each other. All right, I'm going to head over there, guys. Hang tight with us. We'll be back for the start of the race. All right, back for you to do the starting lineup, Rita. Big Blue made his way in, as did Flat Out, but hey, you know, glad you guys made it in. As I said in that message, guys, in a situation like that during the season in a championship race, we most likely would have postponed unless everybody could have got in. But for an exhibition, you know, they'll go ahead and run. But should put on a good show. All right, I'm going to be ready to give you your starting lineup. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineup for today's SCL F1 Donington Trophy race is, on the pole from Green Mountain Enterprises, is Pogo Gun. Starting second, and I'm not sure if he's on a team yet. I'm not very well keeping up with silly season right now, guys. Grandpa Bubby will be starting second. Starting third is Wanma, two-time Le Mans class winner. Fourth will be Guntar from Green Mountain. Fifth is Rita St. James from JME Motorsports. Sixth, S2N Remy from JME Motorsports. Seventh, a longtime SCL veteran from Down Under, Enstaza. Starting eighth will be Cut Loose, who I know just signed to a team, but I can't remember which one. Renaissance Racing, Aussie Race Team, yeah, that is right. All right, new rookie General Muddle making his first start in the series. Welcome, Muddle, glad to see you. From, looks like New Zealand. Starting 10th will be Dalrymple Dimple making another start. Welcome back, Dalrymple. Starting 11th will be Shane O'Kano in the Sunday Cup League account for Aussie Race Team. 12th, his Aussie Race Team teammate Flat Out. 13th from Benson Speed Equipment is Silver Bullet. And 14th will be Big Blue Attack, the independent driver. All right, guys, looks like you're set to go. I'm going to hit the booth. You guys know your rules. Go over any last-minute things, Rita and Shano, and put on a good show for us, guys. Best of luck. All right, just going to hop on the monitor here. Pull up our track map. We'll be ready to get onto the chase cam after the start. Pogo Gun over on the American Tour. He had a tremendous rookie season in season 25. Managed to capture both the Camel GT Series and IndyCar Series Rookies of the Year. He won some support series events and is really, with his new team, Green Mountain Enterprises, looking to have a breakout. Would not be the least bit surprised to see that take place. Grandpa Bubby now entering, I believe, his third or fourth season in the SCL. Still an independent driver. He's won some support races. He won an Indy Lights race and a class win in the Grand Am Touring Series. in the past. This is a driver who's shown lots of speed, as his qualifying there shows, but can he put it together for the full 150 miles, 240K of this Grand Prix event? Wanma, two-time class winner at Le Mans, including last season, running as an independent now, and he is looking very solid. A great third-place run. Guntar in fourth right there, also for the blue car there for Green Mountain Enterprises. And Rita, who's won the last 3 Formula One exhibitions for JME Motorsports, former IndyCar champion and Indianapolis 500 winner, running a pond hopping schedule on both the American Tour and International Tour in upcoming season 26, right there in the 5th spot. We'll stay locked on her for now as we wait to see the start of the race. These guys timing down. We got 14 starters ready to go here at Donington Park, the SCL F1 Donington Trophy race. All right, and they're off. 14 cars darting down towards turn 1. Looks like Pogo holds the lead. Let's get towards the back on the chase cam and see what we can see on board with Big Blue. I do not believe we've had a yellow. Looks to me like they are. They are slowing down. Something's going on. All right, it looks not quite sure what's going on there. Grandpa Bubby just pulls off the track as if these guys are under yellow, and they may in fact be, and I believe that they are. Not sure what the call was for there. Did not see an incident, but that means they fall behind the invisible pace car and wave off and get ready for a rolling start here. Pogo Gun maintaining the lead, Wanma up to second, Rita to third, Gunter to fourth, Remy to fifth. The one that fell way back was Grandpa Bubby. I'm not sure really what happened there, but he goes all the way from second back to 14th. Something happened to him. Not sure if he was involved in an incident or he seemed to just pull off the track. But they're given their instructions. We'll give you a bit of a track walk here as well at Donington Park throughout the race. Section they're coming through now is Goddard's at the end of the hairpin section. They head down what is known as Wheatcroft Straight into Redgate is the upcoming right-hander. And that is the start-finish straight. And they took the green flag. Yours truly missing the call of the flag. And Pogo Gun jumps immediately out to a big lead on that restart. Let's get into the chase cam here. 5th place, Wanma. Rita's right behind him in 6th. And they appear to be off and racing. Looks to me like we might have, we have another caution right here at the start. Clean start rule in effect. Once they make a clean and green lap, they're good to go, and it's just a matter of having guys too antsy in the back, especially a number of rookie drivers on the International Tour, as it's newer to the SCL than the American Tour races. We're going to get on the chase cam with Big Blue Attack, shotgun on the field, and see if we can see as they come through the Melbourne hairpin. They then build themselves up towards Goddard, and then it's right out of Goddard that they're going to hit the start-finish line. These guys need to maintain their pace. Little things like that. Not sure what the guy's doing, but sends the car in front of him around. That looks like Grandpa Bubby. And they have taken the green flag yet again. That was the 3rd attempt. It may be green to go from here. And around goes Dalrymple Dimple. He seemed to come down across Grandpa Bubby there. And that is the third time, I believe, that they're going to call. Are they calling the yellow? Appears to me that they are. Third attempt at a start that has been aborted. And so the guy's getting off to a shaky start, but as I said, I believe it's going to be green to the finish from here. It looks like Pogo and Gunter, the Green Mountain Enterprises drivers, have come out 1-2. That last one looks like Dalrymple moved to the side, didn't see Grandpa underneath him. He came across right as Grandpa came up. Two guys going for the same piece of real estate. But looks like this may be the final attempt. And we may be green to the finish from here. 60 laps in this event, 240K, 150 miles or so. And the Green Mountain guys leading it up to the start here. I believe this is going to be our final restart, so I'm going to get shotgun on the field in the chase cam so we can see any trouble developing. That's Silver Bullet of Benson Speed Equipment, who is shotgun on the field. Let's see if we can get these guys off to a clean start. All right, they take the restart. Ooh, somebody goes around big time. That was Dalrymple. No, that was Flat Out. Ends up on his roof. Resets and gets going. That's General Muddle in 13th. But there was heavy contact there. Sent Flat Out up onto his roof. But I believe we are green to go. That's what happens. Run through the caution flags at the beginning there. He goes inside there of Remy, who I believe got off track. But Pogo Gun takes a big jump here. He's already 2.3 seconds ahead of Staza, who's got one heck of a battle behind him. Gunter, Remy, Rita, all right on top of each other. And the Donington Trophy race is on. Looks like we got pit stops here. Remy and Rita, both of the JME Motorsports cars, coming in immediately to change their tires. So obviously they're not happy with the Park Ferme tires at the start. Rita's done and out. Remy's done and out. And they're back on the track. Meanwhile, back up front, Pogo Guns jumped out to more than a 2-second lead on N. Staza, the reigning Bathurst 500 champion. And let's get some nose-to-tail battles, of which I believe we have plenty. Somebody off in the dirt. That looks like Cut Loose. Another rookie driver. Slides his way back onto the track. On the chase cam here with Silver Bullet as he's battling for 8th there with Flat Out. Wanma and Grandpa Bubby here in a heck of a battle for 5th place. Let's take a look at this one. Two independent drivers, both experienced drivers now, a few seasons in the SCL under their belt. Over pushing the car just a little there goes Wanma. As I said before, 2-time Le Mans class winner. He's got a run here on Grandpa Bubby, but nowhere to take it. And when you have nowhere to take it and you overdrive it, you hit the grass like that and you chew up your tires. Wanma needs to be patient here, realize he's got a quick car. He already put up what is at the moment the fastest lap of the race. Somebody off in front of him, that was Shano on the Sunday Cup League account for the Aussie race team, falling back to 5th, and Grandpa gets by him. These guys are nose to tail right there in the battle for 4th place. Grandpa, Shano, and Wanma. Back on board with Wanma in 6th place. Get a little closer here actually to Shano. Somebody off in the dirt. I believe that's Big Blue. Yep, Big Blue Attack. Already a lap down to the leaders here. He may have made a pit stop. That could be part of that reason. I don't remember him hitting the pits, but he is already struggling badly. Needing to get some more track time on this particular place. He's got a whole bunch of cars coming up behind him too. Whole line of traffic here. Silver Bullet, General Muddle, S2 and Remy off his pit stop has come out in the 9th. He's right on Flat-Out's tail. Let's see Rita as she tries to work her way through here. Rita made that early pit stop. Is that Big Blue again? Yep. Off into the sand trap. Rita gets by General Muddle. And now tries to work on Silver Bullet. Rita qualifying in 5th place. Deciding to make the early pit stop. Working lap 8. Of 60. A lot of these guys not reflective of what you're going to see from them during the season, as they are largely using this is a non-championship event, using it as the final event of these cars before the season starts down in Australia in 2 weeks. And so they're just using it to get a chance to shake down the cars and see what they got. Mistakes like that from Silver are going to cost him as he gets way too deep on the car in front of him. Shows his inexperience there, but he's a developing driver. Meanwhile, let's get back up on Remy as he tries to work on Flat-Out for 8th place. JME cars running 9 and 10. Looks like we got a battle there. Grandpa Bubby working on Shano Kano in the Sunday Cup League account for 4th place. That is a heck of a battle on the track right now. Shano, a 2-time Camel GT Series champion. That's Grandpa Bubby you're looking at. I said Shano, 2-time defending Camel GT Series champ. Going to be running full-time on the International Tour this season. And leading the Aussie race team. Got one of his fellow drivers Flat-Out in here, currently running an 8th. As we've already had a car withdraw, I believe that is Big Blue Attack. Let me take the opportunity here to invite the driver into the booth. These guys still going at it hardcore. Let's see if we got anything here as Juan goes a little wide in the cockpit, seeing a little separation from them. Cut loose, General Muddle, Dalrymple, they're all on top of each other trying to battle their way through. So we've had our first DNF. Big Blue Attack is out, down to 13 cars as we work lap 10 of 60. All right, time to give a little more air time here to our leader, Pogo Gun from Green Mountain. He's opened up a 4.2 second lead over Enstaz in second place. His teammate Gunter back in third. There you can see the gap on the track. But Pogo shooting off from the pole, using the clean air in front of him to just build off an early lead. That's why that track position is so important. We got the heavy clouds moving in, track temperature dropping, but as you can see, 66 degrees ambient, 81 degree track. There's no rain in the forecast. So this should be a very fast and entertaining race. We've got Grandpa Bubby in the pits. Makes a quick stop. Where does he come out? Looks like he's coming out in 8th. He's going to cycle right back in front of somebody, right back in front of Cut Loose, who is right on his tail. But Grandpa Bubby making the early pit stop. We'll see when that, as you said, International Tour using Parc Ferme rules. These guys got to start on the defaults, and depends on how long you want to run those. How competitive can you be with them against your own tire pressure and tire compound? If somebody gets punted, Cut Loose just ran straight into Grandpa Bubby. You guys are on camera. I'm not sure if that was by accident or not. Grandpa Bubby and Cut Loose running into each other. And that looked pretty deliberate on my end. I'm inclined to think the officials would look at a stop and go in that situation. That looked pretty deliberate to me, at least on retaliation, but not really sure what all happened there. Silver Bullet here in the back struggling with the car. All right, let's find some action on the track. And Staza, don't think he made a pit stop. He just seems to be having trouble as he's fallen back all the way to 3rd, and Guntar has moved up into 2nd place. But Staza falling back and losing time. Here we got our battle still for 4th with Shano right there just ahead of Wanma in 5th. Remy and Rita in 6th and 7th have moved through the field after their early pit stop, but Staza definitely had some problems. He got passed by Guntar, who's now back into 3rd. There's Shano Kano. Let's take the opportunity, see where our leader's at, and to get an onboard lap here with our race leader, Pogo Gun from Green Mountain Enterprises, as he comes. Get him when he comes on. The final turn here is the Melbourne hairpin. He's going to make it through that. It goes a little wide there. Takes out a cone and comes back down what's known as the Wheatcroft Straight to begin his lap. He's got about 3 seconds on his teammate Gunter. Turn 1 here is Red Gate. Comes through a sweeping right-hander turn 2 to the right-left Craner curves. Leading to the old hairpin, turn 4. Back here through turn 6 to turn 7, known as McLean's. Turn 8 over here is Coppice, hard right-hander. Now down the longest straightaway on the course, Starkey Straight, which leads into the turn 9-10S, is probably the toughest part of the track. Right there, with the exception of maybe the hairpins. This puts you down that last little section of straights till you get back to the Melbourne hairpin. Hard right-hander. Back down towards Goddard's and the final turn 12. Takes it a lot tighter this time, and there is your lap at Donington Park with our race leader. I'm going to get on board with these guys because it looks like we got something going on back here for 10th place. Grandpa Bubby and Cut Loose have been into each other a few times here early in this race. As we hit about 1/4 distance, working lap 15 of 60, we'll see if these guys have any more trouble with each other. On board with Cut Loose, driver who made a few starts last season but will be classified as a rookie. And season 26. Love to cover the pit stop here of your leader Pogo gun, but I got to keep my eyes on these two guys for now. Let's take a look at it as Pogo made his pit stop. He's back onto the track. He comes out in 6th place. He might be right ahead of Rita, actually, and he is there. Just ahead of Remy. There's Remy, and there's Pogo gun. That's how the first 3 among the top 6 who pitted ended up coming out of the race. We got a Silver Bullet also just making his pit stop. I hope I didn't miss some action there. You see in my messages, officials? I'll let you guys do your job. All I'm going to say is I'd really like to be able to put the camera on the front runners and not linger back here with this nonsense. All right, I'm back to the booth. All right, Guntar's hitting the pits. Here, trackside cameras. He's pitting from the lead. Staza, who has not been in yet, passes him. The big question is where, as does Shano. The big question is Rita, Remy, and Pogo. Where do they come out? And Guntar comes out ahead of all of them, surprisingly. Who would have thought that staying out longer? Well, Guntar stayed out longer and comes out 6 seconds ahead of Pogo and 12 seconds ahead of Rita and Remy, who are now nose to tail. But that cycles Staza to the lead, who's coming up on lap traffic, or just got through lap traffic. He's got 3 seconds on Shano right there behind him. Wanma's in 3rd. Guntar, Pogo, Rita, Remy, they've all made their first pit stop. Although, like I said, there may be guys planning on only one. You know, you don't know. We've got, with the Parc Ferme rules, you've got all kinds of guys who are off sequence with each other. Only lap 18 of 60, there's no telling which direction anybody's going in. But I'm going to keep it locked on our leader and take a quick booth break. Be right back with you momentarily. Alright, back in the booth with you. Looks like things have settled down towards the back. Stas has opened up a 5-second lead on Shane O'Kano. Rita and Remy, we're still running close. Remy's fallen back a few seconds from her now, but we are still on board there with Stas. Let's go to where we have a battle on the track. Get back on the chase cam here. That's Cut Loose coming up on Flat Out. That's a battle for 9th place, and they've got Grandpa Bubby right in front of them, side by side. And Silver Bullet has withdrawn. Let's see if I can get him in here to work the booth. Flat Out going off the track, loses position to General Muddle. These guys back here from 8th through 11th are very close on the track. There's Cut Loose and Grandpa Bubby closing in on each other again, battling for 8th place. General Muddle moving in on him and Flat Out trying to recover from it. But given that everybody's off cycle, I wouldn't look at these gaps as meaning much. Everybody's on different pit strategies. Different guys are off cycle. I wanted to come let you do your walk of shame on the air, Silver.
How you guys doing?
Doing all right. So what happened to your ride?
A little bit of problems with the Benson speed equipment today. Not up to par. Got really loose and stuff. So 3 laps down, took it in, having some engine trouble. So gonna take it back to the shop and see what they can do with it. Just not a good.
The engine of the car or the engine of the driver?
Well, I'd say the car. Yeah, you know, for promotional purposes, we'll just say the engine of the car.
Of the car, gotcha.
Yeah. I just gotta run, so.
I hear you.
Thought I'd jump in and say we were just having trouble today.
Yeah, no problem. Good race. See you next time. Let's see.
Yeah, for sure.
Have a good one, brother.
See ya. Hi, everyone. No drama.
Still got these cars right on top of each other. Back on that. 8, 9, and 10. Oh, General Muddle goes around in the hairpin. Cycling back up front, Stas here. Working lap 24 of 60 now. Second battle here for second between Shane O'Kano and Gunter. On board with Gunter. He's playing it smart. They're building a little bit of a gap rather than getting right up on him and dealing with the dirty air. He's just waiting for his car to feel right, and then he'll try to make a move. But Shano's another car that I don't believe is pitted. But look at the timings here real quick. It's not going to tell me. Looks like Cut Loose has hit the pits. Independent driver got into a scrape there with Grandpa Bubby earlier, trying to recover from it. I believe he has gone a lap down, or close. No, not yet. He may have here with the cycle of pitting. And maybe the leader right behind him. No, leader's already passed him. Anyway, Cut Loose makes his stop on lap 25 and he's out. Well, there's your front three. Let's get some chase action here. Staza in front of that line, Shano Kano in second, and Gunter there in third. That's your front three here, nearly halfway. That is why the SCL is what the SCL is, because this is the kind of racing we get with the packages we use. Appears as though Gunter has the speed, he just doesn't really have anywhere to put it. Staza's on some old tires, that's another thing. Gunter's made a pit stop. I don't believe these two in front of him have, and you can see the difference in the lap time. He was second faster that time. And apparently, while I'm in watching this, Rita gets by Pogo Gun for fourth. Gunter goes a little wide in the dirt. Still 12 of the 14 starters in. You've got Big Blue Attack and Silver Bullet heading back to the garage. Got a couple of non-starters too because of the PSN issues here. Shano looking for a place to take over his fellow Aussie Staza here. You're looking at the last two Bathurst 500 champions right there over in the V8 World Tour. And Stas pulls off into the pits, finally making his pit stop. Let's get a look at the service of the longtime veteran. He must be on about 12 seasons in the league. And the Bathurst 500 winner. As I said, the reigning Bathurst 500 champion. He makes his stop, comes back out. Let's see. Cycles out back in front of Rita, but still getting up to speed. And he does, cycles out from the lead in the first place, despite the fact that he stayed out all that time. So I believe a lot of that's the light fuel load. You got to realize, even if the tires are getting old, they're running on lighter fuel than those that came in early, such as Rita, Remy, and Gunter, who are just now getting into their lighter fuel load. In fact, I'm going to turn off the speedometer for that reason. Alright, back up front, Shano's got the lead. Got a number of battles on the track. But let's look at the big one up front. Shano trying to hold off Gunter, who is all over him. He's obviously quicker at this point, even though Shano was faster on that last lap. Shano nursing some old tires, I believe. Look, Pogo Gun back in the pits. Pole sitter. Making what I believe is his second stop. Is he planning on a 3-stop race? He'd have to go 32 laps from here. That's a lot on the tires. He's in and out. Stays in 7th place. Comes out still well ahead of 8th place. Meanwhile, back up front, one's going to call for some cockpit view on Gunter. Ooh, just barely clips him. And they're both hitting the pits. And unfortunately, I was in the wrong camera there to catch if that was a pit road violation of ghosting through somebody. I couldn't tell if he'd locked up in front of him. There goes Shano, he's out. And there goes Gunter, he's out. Shano beats him out. I'm not sure where they're going to cycle out. Gunter cycles out, I believe, just in front of Rita. Yes, he did. He just did beat her back onto the track. There goes Remy, making his pit stop. Looks like we've had our third withdrawal. Grandpa Bubby is out of the race. Remy's out, comes out in 6th, just ahead of Pogo. And Staza cycles back out front. So Gunter got cycled out before Rita did. I'm not sure if something happened to Remy. He's being listed as 25 seconds back now. He had trouble getting into the pit lanes or not, but he is all of a sudden well back off the front 5, who are at the moment just 5 seconds apart. Let's take a look at Wanma as he's battling Rita for 4th place. Rita pulls into the pits. Looks like our PSN trouble coming back flat out, blowing a motor right there. And so the PSN troubles remaining. 14 starters down to 10 now, right at halfway. We are now 30 laps in. We are right on halfway as Rita makes her pit stop, cycles out. She's still ahead of her teammate Remy as they cycle out together. I think I see the cycle going on here now. They managed to beat Pogo Gun out that time, who, as you can see, comes out just behind them. All right, back up front to Stas, our leader, holding just over a second on Shano and Gunter. As we are right on halfway as he hits the line, cross flags, 30 down, 30 to go here at the F1 Donington Trophy race. There's your front 3 right there. But as I said before, these cars are off sequence. I think anybody among that front 7 is still a contender at this point because they're all on a different pit sequence. You don't know who's got the right one. As Staza goes a little wide there, and that's going to put Shano all over him. Like we had a pit stop for General Muddle. Not sure what he's doing. Probably forgot to turn off his pit road speed limiter from the looks of it. There goes Shano for the move. To the outside. Can't make it work. One that's closed in on him as well. But that time Staza hits the grass and Shano goes by. New leader. Staza goes off again. That puts Gunter into 2nd. So Staza's struggling with the car now on the heavy fuel tanks and has fallen back to 3rd place with Wanma now right on top of him. Meanwhile, that second group being led by Rita. These are on a different pit cycle. Be careful to watch their intervals and see if they're gaining anything. Their teammate Remy back in 6th. Pogo, the pole sitters, in 7th. Cut Loose running in 8th, and Dalrymple in 9th. I wonder who we lost this time. As 14 starters are down to 9 now, so the PSN network issues today are As I said, if it was a championship event, I seriously doubt we'd be running right now with the network doing what it's doing. But it's an exhibition, so here we are rolling. And mad props there to the rookie driver Dalrymple, who is getting his lap times out there. We got another car hitting the pits. Wanma, your third place qualifier, hitting from fourth. There goes Rita by into fourth. Alright, Rita comes out just ahead of Wanma. Looks like with our front three as such, we got a battle back here. Let's take a look at this. Battle for sixth with Remy and Pogo. Those of you not familiar with Remy there, just rejoining JME Motorsports. That is the longtime SCL veteran, the Dutchman. Was a rookie in the league with yours truly back in season 12. He ran for 10 seasons. Had quite a lot of success on the American Tour, 6 career IndyCar wins, including the season 17 Indianapolis 500, as well as a couple of wins on the Winston Cup Series and numerous wins in various support series. Remy did not make the transition over to PS4 and Project Cars 2 immediately, did not race in seasons 22 or 23, but he made his return in seasons 22, 23, or 24, but made his return last season in season 25. And ran a part-time schedule as we see Wanma, or Pogo rather, go off into the sand. He's going to lose time there to Remy, but back to Remy. He's back on a full-time schedule. He will be running on both the American Tour and International Tour. Him and Rita will be running up the JME Motorsports corporate jet bills quite a bit this season, running on both tours. And he's looking to come back full swing into the SCL. Wanma and Rita right back on top of each other in the battle for fourth place. As Gunter once again challenging Shano up front. Wanma down to the inside. He's trying to make the move here. Just cannot find the room before the series of hairpins here at the last section of the track. He can get more traction there off of Goddard's. He has a shot. But Rita's taking away his air, taking away the main line, and he just cannot get it done. The thing is there, look at the interval right at 20 seconds. Rita has not gained on the leader or lost to the leader. We know that they're off sequence, and it's tough to tell who's going to end up where because she's not gaining or losing time. She's running the exact pace as the leaders right now. And Wanma, in fact, matter of fact, you got to give credit there that last lap until it just ticked over. Cut loose back in 8th place among our 9 cars running and 14 starters was the fastest car on the track that lap. So much props to Cut Loose, the rookie driver for the Aussie race team. Now they are going tooth and nail right now. As Rita's trying to hold off Wanma for fourth place, it's actually costing them a little bit of time. They're battling so hard, but they are hanging on. Got a lot of that. Catching people and passing people are two different things. You're seeing it up front with Shano and Gunter. Remy and Pogo, they're seeing it all pair off through the field here. Get on board to Wanma. Rita goes wide, and Wanma will take fourth place. It was all it took was one mistake. He was pressuring her hard, And Rita made an uncharacteristic error there in a tough corner, and as a result has given up 4th place to Wanma. She might also just be willing to let it go, knowing she's off sequence and work her strategy, but we'll just have to wait and see here how she decides to play it. Give a call out there to Dalrymple Dimple, the rookie. He's 9th among 9 cars running on the track. As I said, we've had some attrition. We had 14 starters. PSN acting up today. But this rookie driver's come in. He's run several of the exhibition races here in the off-season on the international tour, and he's just making laps. He's put up good laps. You saw that last one was 112. He's been down quicker than that at times. Let's take a look. I believe his fastest lap of the race. Yeah, there's that 112.0. He's running competitive lap times. He's just putting in the time that a rookie driver needs to. He's going to finish the race, and if it were 2 weeks from now and in the season, he would score championship points here and would be locked in. These guys in the top 9 would finish and be locked into the next, the next round. So this is exactly what you're looking for. So we got to give him a shout out. He's done a real good job. All right, things spreading out just a little bit. Shano's got about 3 seconds on Gunter. They're both running, everybody running down the 110, 111s, and 112s for the most part. So we are working lap 38 of 60. I'm back to cut loose for the moment. Not yet has a livery for Aussie race team, but will soon. Let's get some cockpit time with him. New driver for the Aussie race team. Got into that scrap with Grandpa Bubby earlier, but he's running on the lead lap, just about a minute off, running competitive lap times. And off cycle, maybe he can pick up some positions here as he comes sweeping through here towards the old hairpin. Little burp of the throttle, good job. But we really are looking. Oh, we got another battle on the track. I'm going to want to get to that here real quick. Wanma and Stas are pretty much nose to tail for 3rd place, as Wanma has passed Stas for 3rd place. And with a 109.8 on that last lap, Wanma has just run the fastest lap of the race. Let's give him some seat time here. Give him some air time, I should say. Rita gets by Stas as well, who I believe is struggling with that car on heavy fuel and old tires, as he falls back from the lead all the way to 5th now. These guys still off sequence as we hit lap 40. Wanma's obviously taking care of his tires. He's on a light fuel load now, so he's turning the fastest laps he's run all day that anybody's run all day, and he's really starting to make up some time. He's pulled away from Rita by 8 seconds since he passed her, and is more than 12 seconds ahead of Stas now, who might fall into the clutches of Remy for 5th place. Coming up on Dalrymple to go a lap ahead of him. Dalrymple lets him by like a gentleman. Alright, like I said, Stas falling into the clutches of Remy. Looks like he even just let him by. Stas appears to be struggling with the car right now. And he goes all the way from the lead, all the way back to 6th place. Not sure what the issue is with that machine, with that Formula One machine for Stas is, but he's struggling as he's fallen all the way back to 6th place. As I said, 14 starters. We've got 9 still on the track. A lot of attrition due to the PSN network acting up. Stas struggling with that car still, and Remy moves up into 5th place. Alright, taking a look back now at Guntar running in 2nd. He qualified 4th for Green Mountain, newly formed Green Mountain Enterprises. Heading into his 2nd SCL season, one of the guys we're expecting to see break out this season. No doubt about it. You can see him looking down Shano in front of him. But he's definitely one of the guys we expect to see break out. He's won some exhibition races. He's won some support races. He's performed very well. He's gotten on the podium in the championship events as looks like Cut Loose is pitting comfortably from 8th place and back out. But Guntar moving in now. Him and Shano just in a back and forth rubber banding battle here up front. Looks like Staza hitting the pits. Like I said, the long-time SCL vet from way back in the GT6 days, somewhere around 12 seasons in the league. Mostly as a part-time driver, but he is the main Bathurst 500 champion. He makes a pit stop. Let's see if he can get himself back up and running with a new set of tires. Back on our leader, Shano. Just over a second ahead of Guntar. As the race goes down, it looks like these guys, they may keep these tires. They've put enough fuel in to run the rest of the way, I believe. I believe they've got enough fuel. They got enough fuel to go the rest of the way, no doubt. It's a matter of tires, and I don't know that they're going to be stopping here. That puts these front 2 cars well into position to where they want to be, unless they need to stop for tires. If those tires go away, they may have built this league with an aggressive tire setup, and if these tires go away, it's tough to tell what might happen. But for right now, Shano and Guntar are battling up front. Wanma, I believe, needs to pit for fuel still from 3rd place, so Rita and Remy are expecting to cycle past him when he makes a stop. And then Staza coming out there in 6th. He's now going to have to battle with Cut Loose, who's just 10 seconds behind him. And Pogo Gun hitting the pit lane. Pogo, I gotta believe, made a couple stops and is using this as a test event. He was the pole sitter, was up front. Something's gone wrong for him in this race. But I think he's just trying out different things. I don't think he cares about the finishing position. He's just getting ready for the regular season. And in fact, is withdrawing the car here. Pogo Gun withdrawing the car, and now we are down to 8 of the 14 starters. So we have another car withdrawn. Let me see if I can get him into the booth. Let's see if he wants to join us here. But once again, attrition pretty heavy here in the Formula One series. Guntar hitting the pits. That was my big question. Was somebody going to come in for tires? I don't think he's going to take fuel. He's just going to take tires. And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. And he comes. Will he beat them out of the pits. He beats Wanma out, and he doesn't beat Wanma out. Wanma still has to pit, but I believe he does. He comes out 5 seconds ahead of Rita. Well, welcome to the booth, Pogo Gun. Make sure your voice is being shared there, Pogo, on your audio settings. But yeah, he comes out about 5, almost 6 seconds ahead of Rita on the cycle of pit stop. So exactly what Gunter wanted with that splash of tires. Now the question is, will he run down Shano? Will Shano stay out? Will he pit? I believe Wanma has to pit for fuel, so this becomes a whole other story. Let's go ahead and get on Wanma, whom, judging by the telemetry there, is probably pitting this time by. We'll see where he comes out. How you doing, Pogo? Good to see you. Good race out there. You took the pole. I see you retired here about lap 45. Tell us how your race went. I hear you. Absolutely. We'll hopefully see you next time, maybe at Winston Cup later today. You too, bro. Alright, so Guntar came out. There's Wanma. Wanma came out behind Rita, but in front of Remy on that pit stop. He's 4 seconds behind Rita, but you know he can pull out 109 laps when he needs to. Guntar made his pit stop, and he not only made his pit stop, he's now 9 seconds ahead of Rita. I'm not sure if Rita had a problem there while we were watching the cycle exchange, but Guntar sliding a little bit. Now running 15. He's gaining time on Shano with 14 laps to go. He's 15 seconds behind. And running quicker on the track at the moment by about 2 seconds on that last lap. So we'll see how this plays out. He's pulling away from Rita, who now has Wanma right back on top of her again. The battle for the podium is back with us. As I said, we had 14 starters in this race. We've had quite a bit of attrition due to the PSN network acting up. And only 8 cars still running on the track. But I'll remind the guys, during the season, the top 10 in points in this series are locked in, don't have to qualify in on time, and so you'd want to finish. For example, if this was round 1, Dalrymple there at the back, almost 3 laps down, would finish in 8th place, and would be locked into the second round. So, and there it is. Shano Kano hits the pits. Let's see how he cycles out. I believe he's just going to take tires. There's no reason for fuel. And Gunter goes by. He pulls out. There it is. Let's see where they cycle out at here. 5 seconds. Gunter cycles out 5 seconds ahead on that last pit stop on lap 48, and it looks like it's going to be a straight battle to the finish. Meanwhile, Rita and Wanma right on top of each other once again in the battle for third. This is 12 seconds back off the leaders. That would be worth 3 big championship points were we in season. And I believe everybody's good to go on fuel. The question will be tires. The entire front 5, front 6 has made their pit stops. Cut Loose made it past Staza, who appeared to make another stop. Fell back to 7th. But this is the best battle on the track at the moment. It looks like Shano's cut a second off of that lap time. We'll see how they're... Wanma makes the move on Rita, gets to the inside. Can she come back on the hairpin? Just about, but they're door to door right now. Rita to the inside. Wheel to wheel coming onto the front stretch. Heck of a battle between these two SCL veterans. Wanda takes the preferred line. Rita knows she's got to stick with him. She knows he has the speed to pull away if she lets him get too much of an advantage. So she's going to keep the pressure on. There you go, a pair of 110s out of Gunter and Shano that time. And so these guys might be in a stalemate. And there goes Wanda pulling away to a little bit of an edge. Rita's still there with him, however. You know, everything we've seen here today, these team owners and drivers going to be stocking away what they saw, when guys pitted, what strategies they use as we head towards the season. Season for Formula One kicks off 2 weeks from today at the Australian Grand Prix at Bathurst. That's a day after the V8 World Tour opener, the Bathurst 500. V8s will go to New Zealand the week after that, and the week after that, the American Tour will be kicking off with the beginning of Daytona Speed Weeks. SCL Season 26 Daytona Speed Weeks, the 15th edition of SCL Daytona Speed Weeks. As Wanma has now pulled away, once he got out in front, he's had the faster car and he's pulled away from Rita here, moved up comfortably into third. But meanwhile, Shano has chopped that lead in half. He's down to 2.3 seconds behind Gunter. And when they take the line this time, it's going to be 10 laps to go. We will remind you later on today, the SCL American Tour at 4:45 p.m. Eastern call time for the Winston Cup Series exhibition at Texas Motor Speedway. That will be, as I said, 4 p.m. the time the entry will open, 4:45 the entry call time, as Shano goes inside of Stas, who lets him go. Meanwhile, up front, there's Guntar. Came out, each time he cycled out of the pits, he cycled out into the lead, which has given him just the right pit stops. He's had quick laps, but he's been consistent. Other guys have been just as fast. They haven't been quite as consistent, but he's going to have to hold off a hard-charging two-time Camel GT Series champion, Shano Kano, behind him. Hunter appears to be having some traction issues there. Just a little bit. You feel the slide of the car through some of the tighter hairpins, and what was a 5-second lead when he came out of the pits is now down to less than 2. So Shano is definitely closing in. Oh, he is definitely closing in. Inside of a second now. Guntar, who finished second last week at Red Bull Ring in Austria, the last exhibition in these cars, doesn't want another second place finish. I mean, he's running good, and you'll take second place finishes during the season, but he's here to win, and right now, what's been a perfectly strategized race, he's going to be here neck and neck battle, and you cannot discount the fact that Juan was moving in on him as well. Now that he's got clear track in front of him, Juan was pulling 109s, and he's slowly chopping into these guys as well, so you could have a third car in there. This is our best battle on the track, and it is for the lead. We're working lap 53 of 60. Guntar, who started 4th on the grid. Shano Kano, who in the Sunday Cup League account there behind him, who I believe started farther back, 8th or 9th on the grid. No, I was actually might have been 10th. Has worked his way through the field. And these two are right on top of each other, all the way onto the rev limiter, in excess of 190 miles an hour. Go through the Melbourne hairpin. You can see that little bog down right there for Gunter. That little loss of traction, that's really what's costing him time in those really tight corners. Shano doesn't have that. He's been very smooth through those type of corners. Not necessarily as quick, but he's been smooth, and right now it's paying him off as they put some time on the tires. They probably put on their best tires on the last pit stop, and they might be getting a little heated up here. They went with their fastest set as Gunter goes sliding around a little bit. And that no, not quite. Shano does not quite have enough to get there. He is right on his tail. And meanwhile, the whole time, Wanma's moving in. He's now within 6 seconds back in third place. These guys will have 6 laps to go at the line. Trying to watch this hellacious battle for the lead. Meanwhile, Crew Chief over here is asking for his juice. Shano's trying to make that move. And this is why we say we got the best kind of racing here in SCL. I mean, look at these guys. Our packages got these guys nose to tail after nearly 60 laps of racing. Multiple pit stops. Multiple guys DNFing. Normally we very rarely see cars go out, but the PlayStation Network has not been cooperative the last couple of weekends. Alright, Gunter is still narrowly hanging on. Oh, looks like Shano got by him finally. Right as Wanma comes into the picture as well. Rita, meanwhile, kind of stagnating back there in fourth. But Shano makes the pass on lap 55 and takes the lead here at the Donington Trophy race. There's your top 3 right there. Meanwhile, back on Gunter, he's under pressure from Wanma, who's chopped down that lead too, and just ran a 108.9. So Wanma's the fastest car on the track right now, and believes he may still have time to get there. Ooh, I don't believe, not if he does that. Somebody went way off the track. That was Staza trying to get out of the way there. Gunter 3 seconds back. There's Wanma. Rita, meanwhile, stagnating back in fourth. And Remy holding a comfortable lead in fifth. It looks like from fourth on back is basically locked in, barring some trouble here in these last few laps. But up these front 3 still very much on the line. There's 1. Gunter back in 2, and Wanma in 3. Gunter's having some tire trouble. He just ran a 112.8 that last lap. There's definitely something wrong with Gunter's car. He is just trying desperately to hang on here. You can see the bog down there, not getting the traction out of the corner. He's run a heck of a race, but made the right calls, the right pit stops. But that car is obviously, to me, going away from him a little bit. Going to have to tweak those tire pressures heading into the season just to get that little bit extra out of it, I believe. Because he's looked very, very good for most of this race. Back up front, Shano Kano of the Aussie race team, meanwhile, heading into his 5th season of SCL racing. 2-time Camel GT Series champion. Made the pass on Gunter back on lap 55. When he takes the line this time, there'll be 3 to go. There's your front 3. And there he takes the line. 3 laps to go here at the Donington Trophy race. But this is why the SCL spec package works so well. Gives us some great racing. These guys are nose to tail here at the finish. Get back to Guntar. He is struggling with that car and still has Wanma breathing down his neck for second place. 8 of our 14 starters still running. Once again, that's a very low number. We saw that last week. Saw a lot of attrition, a lot of tech issues. And a lot of these messages that are popping up on the screen, guys, is a lot of guys having server issues. As Wanma gets by Guntar there, Guntar comes back on him, but I believe Wanma's going to have the speed to pull away from him once he's got by right there. Guntar has been struggling with that car for about the last, I don't know, 8 to 10 laps, and he's done a hell of a job to hold the lead as long as he did and to hold second as long as he did, but I believe his car is just about gone. And a podium finish is going to be a good consolation prize for him. But he's run a heck of a race there to get himself up into that position. Wanma makes a mistake. There's always the chance of getting back into it. Like that, getting a little too much dirt. Here just in front of him is Shane O'Kano looking to take it to the victory. You can see the 2 cars chasing him in the background. In the foreground is your race leader. Into the Melbourne corner. Down towards the left-handed Goddards, and he is going to take the white flag when he comes around here. Shane O'Kano of the Aussie race team will take the white flag. Two cars fighting hard behind him. But it's been a great performance for Shano. He, as I said, qualified towards the back. Really did not have a good qualifying session. Chose to stay out a little longer, got off sequence with a few of the other cars, and has just driven his way up through the field in this race. So he has really earned it, done a spectacular job. As I said, multi-time winner in the Camel GT Series, 2-time series champion, running on the International Tour this season. And he's coming around now. Wanma giving it everything he has to try to catch him, but it's not going to happen as he goes sliding off into the dirt. Shano heads down towards Goddard's, the final turn, and it's going to be Shane O'Kano of the Aussie race team coming home victorious in the SCL F1 Donington Trophy race. Shane O'Kano crosses the line. It's Wanma sliding it across with a terrific second place run. Guntar with a hard-fought third place finish. Rest of the cars on the track. Rita St. James qualified fifth. She's going to finish fourth. I know she's going to be disappointed with that as she brings it around the final turn. But it's a solid finish for a day that did not go the way she wanted. Teammate Remy qualified in sixth. He's going to run down to a fifth place finish. You might see 8 cars on the board, but like I said, guys, 14 cars started. Once you get in the season, every point is worth it, especially with the provisional starting system and all that the SCL uses. As Remy's going to bring it by for a solid fifth place performance. Got to give a shout out to Cut Loose, the rookie driver for the Aussie race team. He got into some banging back there beyond 10th place early in the race, but managed to hang on to it. Well, there's your final results in the Donington Trophy race for the SCL Formula One World Championship, a non-championship event. It's Shane O'Kano taking the win in the Sunday Cup League account there. Wanma with a terrific run up into second. Also had the race's fastest lap at 1:08.8. Guntar came home in third, Rita St. James in fourth, and S2N Remy fifth. Rounding out the field back there among the finishers of the 14 starters. Cutloose sixth, Thaza seventh, Dalrymple Dimple credited eighth, and since he hung in the pits and in the room, General Muddle will be credited with a ninth place finish. All right, let's get some of our interview subjects in here after we let them wrap up the post race. Really a good show. I mean, look at the gap: 60 laps, 3 seconds, 6 seconds. Rita and Remy had some trouble there and wound up fourth and fifth back. Make sure you guys have your mics on the share, that they're being shared, and maybe turn your volume up just a tad.
I think I figured out why why you couldn't hear me last time. That was exactly what it was. It wasn't sharing.
Yeah. I will get these let them. All right. Well, good run here at the Donington Trophy race. I was telling the viewers that that's a perfect example of why, you know, what we do is the best of the best, because that's exactly the kind of racing. We run 60 laps and have all those cars right on top of each other at the end of the race, and it was one heck of a battle. But we'll go to our winner first. Shane O'Kano from the Aussie race team qualified toward the back, came up, worked your way through the field, took the win. Tell us about your day, Shano. Yeah, you seem to be consistent. There were fast cars on the track. You seem to be very consistent. And down there towards the end, it looked like Gunter might have had the right strategy. But then when you guys came out, you had the tires the right way, and you were able to make the pass on lap 55 and put on a good show. Great run. I know you want to bottle that and save it up for the upcoming season. All right, second place, Wanma, SCL veteran now, the two-time Le Mans class winner. Wanma, fastest car on the track at times, and the fastest car off the track at times today. So, but you definitely had the car that was quick enough to win it. How'd your race play out for you?
Well, I qualified third, I think it was, and I completely messed up the start. I just overdrove everything, and I ended up like at the back of the pack by lap 5. And I needed to work out. I needed to work out like how to drive better on old tires and stuff like that. And I felt like when I got the strategy down near the end of the race, I was fast enough to catch them, but it just didn't happen. But
Well, that's what we,
props to Shano for the win.
absolutely. That's what we saw at the end of the race. You were very, very quick, not very consistent. Obviously, you don't have a whole lot of time in these cars yet, I'm sure. But once Guntar, and we'll get to him in a second, but Guntar was doing a masterful job of defensive driving with a car that you could tell by watching him was going away from him. I mean, he held Shano up about 5 laps longer than he should have been able to. And once they got on top of each other, you were slowly gaining before that, but once they got right on each other, you were just chopping the time down. And I think that it's a classic example of catching someone and passing them are two different things. Plus, I think you might have used your tires up by the time you got to them and didn't quite have as much in the tank when you needed to get by them. But either way, you ran a great race. As you said, you came from the back, were we in season, second place points are, definitely something to put in your pocket. So good run. And turn it over to the guy who finished up our podium, qualified fourth, finished third, led much of the race. I thought you had the right strategy. You kept coming out of the pits every time on the pit cycle ahead. But uh, obviously, at some point, with about 8 or 9 laps to go, Gunter, it visibly that car went away. You want to tell us what happened out there?
Yeah, all the way through, I knew we were quick. I didn't really expect to be one of the fastest cars on the track there, but I knew I was going to three stop it, do two for tires, one for fuel, and it was just a matter of kind of where in that window I was going to do it. So when Shano and I came in together for that fuel stop, I knew I was going to have to get creative and get aggressive. So I made the call to stop a couple laps earlier than I normally would have, and yeah, the car held on great, and I knew I was going to have to either save or push and try to open up the gap. And I tried to close the gap to Shano before he came in a little more than I probably should have, and I think I used up a little more than I should have there. But yeah, it went away, and it went away in a really big way, really, really quickly. And Shano was coming up on me, and I was doing everything I could with the sway bars, trying to get the thing to, bite a little more in the corners, rotate a little better, all that fun stuff that you get out of the used tires. He did a great job. Shano, thanks for not running me off the track there, because I know you were much, much faster. I was just holding on to it and try to pull a first, or maybe even a P2 out of it.
No, you did a great job, and like I said, there was at least he could have, 3 or 4 laps earlier, he might have been able to get by you. But this is one of those places where catching someone and passing them and are two different things. And you were running a perfect defensive line. You were beating them to the corner just enough to where you could take the preferred line, and then nobody would have a run. Some guys, I happened to Wanma once or twice, they'd get that run up and then run out of room at the last second and bail into the grass. And that would happen, and you were doing everything right. And I remember thinking if there were 5 laps less, he might have a shot at this. But I think there's too much time left. I was saying that on the broadcast, and then they were able to get to you. But you held him off. You held Wanma off as long as you could. That's a classic example of you made a call that it's not the wrong call. You made a decision to try to get, I'm not going to beat him if I do the same thing. So I'm going to try something different here. And in this case, it didn't work, but I think you knew where you were at. Like, if we're at a points race, you can see that the JME cars are kind of locked into 4th and 5th with what happened to them. So you can take that chance. You can say, I'm going to try to win this thing, and what's the worst that's going to happen? I'll be 3rd and 4th place breathing down my neck. And so, to be honest, guys, the podium here tonight, no better example of why the SCL is what the SCL is, because you guys all had different strategies, you all had different driving styles, and all 3 of you ended up in the same place at the end of the race. And Gunter, I think you were like Wanma was the fastest, putting up the fastest laps. He was not consistent enough to win it. I think you were the most. You had the best mix of strategy and consistency, but Shano and me are like twins on the track, in that Shano comes on late, and he came on like a ball of fire over that last 15, 20 laps. He was running his quickest, most consistent laps all at the same time, which is going to be de rigueur the first time here. Yeah, it's one of those things. He's going to see that a lot of that this season. But other than the banging on going back there, which we can discuss later on in an officials meeting, I think that we had a pretty good show. Thank you guys for coming out, and congratulations again to Shano for the win in the Donington Trophy race, as well as Wanma, who came home 2nd, Gunter in 3rd, Rita was 4th, and S2N Remy in 5th place. So for all the drivers, this is Carlin Hicks signing off on the SCL Racing Network, and we'll see you later on today in the Winston Cup race.